everybody, sorry I'm late. I actually just accidentally did this live inside one of my private Facebook groups for our Academy members instead of on the live or on the main page here like I had meant to. So I am 25 minutes late for our live today because these are supposed to be at 12:30 Central Standard Time on this page every Tuesday. But oh well, so we're gonna get started. So today I am talking about my 4 rules for socializing puppies with people. So the reason that this is such an important topic to me, so socialization in general is a huge topic. Today we're just talking about a very small piece of it, which is greeting other people. Socialization in general is much bigger than this, but these are my 4 rules for when and how to socialize a service dog and training puppy with strangers, right? So socialization, we all have these kind of misconceptions. I've talked about this before in other lives and other YouTube videos, is that socialization, when you ask people what it is, we get all kinds of different answers. We get making sure our puppies are social, making sure they're confident, exposing them to as many people and places and dogs as possible. And while all of that is true, it's not a complete picture. And I learned why that wasn't a complete picture firsthand, training Coda, a a service dog in training who was a 9-month-old doodle when I met him. And he was so social with other people that he would not take food, any kind of food. I could have leftover steak, and this dog would not take food in the presence of people because he was so excited and so social. So he taught me firsthand that socialization isn't just about creating a social dog, right? There's actually a lot more to it than that. And then I read Laura Van Ardenachbaugh's book called Civil, Social, and Savvy, or something like that. Those are the 3 words in the title. And it is a fantastic book on puppy socialization and training. And she is the one that pointed out in that book that really brought this to the front of my mind in a way that I could explain, that socialization is about teaching our puppies what is normal and giving them, setting them up to see what normal routines and normal circumstances and normal communication and normal training is going to look like as they grow up. And so when we step back and think about that, really what's normal for our service dogs is to ignore 99% of the people that they see, right? We want our service dogs to be social and confident and happy around people, and we want them to be comfortable being pet and everything like that. But really, 99% of the people that our service dogs meet, they have to be ignored, right? So that means that starting as a puppy, we want to start to create that right from the beginning, that most people need to be ignored. And that is what my 4 rules are going to help with, teaching your puppy how to be social and confident, but also how to ignore people. And if you have a super social, like a social butterfly monster type of an adolescent, like Coda was, then some of these tips can come in really handy for you as well. So my first rule is that puppies greet strangers. Strangers do not greet puppies. And this is, I think, a rule that I actually, again, was brought to the front of my mind in Laura's book. And this is so important because it's important for confidence building. And if your puppy's struggling with confidence, then we have a free confidence 90-minute web class inside the Train Your Service Dog with Confidence group that you guys can go watch. But when we let people come to our puppy and pet them without permission, it can create nervousness or fear, depending on the puppy. And it also is just kind of bad for training, right? So my rule is that puppies will greet people, but people will not greet my puppy. So if my puppy wants to go say hi, I might allow that, but I'm not going to let people come pet my puppy without permission. So my second rule then is about when and how do I let my puppy go greet people. Well, for me, right from the very beginning, I want my puppies to earn going to say hello to people. So anytime my puppy is on the leash, my puppy needs to earn the ability to go say hello. I might ask for a sit, I might ask for eye contact. It depends on how far along my puppy is in his training. If he just barely knows his name, then I might just say, say his name, and the moment he looks at me, tell him he can go say hi. If my puppy knows how to sit and lay down or do any of those things, then I might ask my puppy to sit and then tell him he can go say hi, right? So it really is about having my puppy earn the ability to go say hello whenever he's on a leash. And I say on a leash because if my puppy is at home, I don't necessarily make them follow these rules. I only do this when my puppy is on a leash. So last week in the live on this page, we talked about when to put a vest on a puppy. And the big question that I always get is, when is my puppy working? How will my puppy know when he's working, right? And so a lot of people start to put the vest on their puppies to teach them when they're working. For me, it's not about the vest. It's about the leash. If my puppy is on a leash, then he needs to be walking nicely. He needs to be asking for permission before he goes and says hello to people, things like that. If my puppy's off the leash, then he gets a little bit more freedom. So I still want him to be polite, but he doesn't necessarily have to ask for permission and things like that. Now, my third rule is that for every one person that my puppy greets and actually gets to be social with, then I want him to ignore 10 other people. Now, that's a general rule, 1 to 10, but that is because really, as my puppy grows up and we start to do more and more public access and more outings, I want him to ignore 99% of the people that he sees, right? So I want to set that up right from the very beginning, that for every one person that my puppy gets to greet, there's about 10 or so that we have to ignore. And that could be ignoring them when we're walking past. It could be in a group class where they don't get to say hello to anybody, things like that. But I kind of want that 10 to 1 rule. You get to say hello to one person, and then you have to ignore 10 others. Something along the lines of that. My fourth rule, and this one has some exceptions. Of course, they all have exceptions, but this is the one with the most exceptions, is that strangers do not get to give my puppies treats. And that is because, again, I want my puppy to learn to ignore most people. And if he starts to learn that all those strangers out there, they all have access to food that might get shared, we can start to get a lot more of that attention seeking and kind of those annoying behaviors. So when I'm socializing a puppy, 90% of the time, strangers do not get to give my puppies treats. The exception here is if my puppy is very jumpy, I have a very jumpy adolescent dog, or even if I have a nervous dog who needs a moment to get used to people before there's an interaction, I will hand the stranger a closed bag of dog treats. So generally it goes like this. Somebody says, "Oh, can I pet your puppy?" And I say, "Actually, he's in training, but would you give him a treat?" And then we're just gonna pretend that this is a bag of dog treats, this envelope, and I hand them a closed bag of dog treats. Now, that stranger cannot pet my puppy for jumping or pet my puppy while he's nervous, because this person's hands are busy. It's an incompatible behavior for the human, right? Because now the human has to open the bag, get a treat out, both hands are still busy, and 99% of people, when you put a dog treat in their hand, they go, "Sit," and then they give the puppy the treat for sitting. So this is a way to give people an incompatible behavior to help them to get them to help you with your puppy's training without having to explain, yes, you can pet him, but only if he doesn't jump, and all of these kinds of things that people always ignore. A closed bag of dog treats will help because it gives the person an incompatible behavior, just like we do with dogs. A dog cannot sit and jump on you for attention at the same time. He's got to do one or the other, right? So sit makes for a good incompatible behavior. People cannot open this bag of dog treats and pet my puppy at the same time. They can only do one or the other. So that works really well. Now, if you have a super social butterfly monster type of an adolescent right now, the rules here to really think about are asking for permission. So I want your dog to earn the ability to go say hi to people, and potentially this closed bag of dog treats. If you have an adolescent that's really jumpy, then like a Ziploc bag of hot dogs or a closed bag of treats, something like that to hand to strangers can come in really, really helpful. So as a quick review, right, my 4 rules for introducing puppies to people are that puppies greet people, people do not greet puppies. They have to ask permission to go say hello, right? My puppy's going to earn it. So I'm going to use people as a reinforcer, essentially, by asking my puppy to sit and then telling them they can go say hi. I have a 10-to-1 rule. So for every one person my puppy gets to greet, there's 10 he's got to ignore. And then in general, I do not let strangers give my puppy treats unless I need an incompatible behavior for the human for some reason. So if you guys have any questions, you can always throw them in the comments here. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and share this anywhere that other owner trainers might find it helpful. And I will be on here again next week at 12:30 Central Standard Time because I will not accidentally go live in my other Facebook group. First, I will be on this page instead. And Laura, I will definitely get to talking about fear stages at some time in the next few weeks. Anybody who has a puppy now or is going to be getting a puppy soon, you want to mark June on your calendar because in June we have some very exciting and very big things coming out for puppy owners. We're going to have lots of resources, lots of training demonstrations, all kinds of fun things. So if you have a puppy now, you'll be getting one soon. You're definitely going to want to keep an eye out for June. So I will see you guys next week.